I want you to transport yourself back to the 1960s. The Cold War is heating up. The United States and the Soviet Union are looking for any advantage. The CIA is desperate for new ways to eavesdrop on Russian diplomats. They have tried bugs in lamps. They have tried bugs in shoes. But they need something mobile, something inconspicuous, something that can walk right up to a park bench, sit down next to two Russian spies, and listen to their conversation without raising suspicion. One day, a CIA agent looked out the window and saw a stray cat wandering through the courtyard. He noticed that nobody paid attention to the cat. It could go anywhere. It could listen to anything. And in that moment, one of the most ridiculous and expensive projects in intelligence history was born. Its code name was Operation Acoustic Kitty. The goal was simple: turn a cat into a living recording device. But the execution was a nightmare. This wasn't just strapping a tape recorder to a collar. That would be too obvious. They decided to make the cat a cyborg. The CIA hired a team of veterinary surgeons and audio engineers. They spent millions of dollars designing miniature equipment. In a gruesome procedure, they implanted a microphone into the cat's ear canal. They ran a wire under its skin, down its neck, and along its back. They implanted a battery pack inside its chest cavity. And finally, they wove a fine wire antenna all the way down the cat's tail. The cat survived the surgery. It was a walking, meowing transmitter. But then they encountered a problem they hadn't predicted. Cats are not dogs. You cannot train a cat to follow orders. When they took the acoustic kitty out for field tests, it was a disaster. If the cat got hungry, it wandered off to find food. If it got bored, it fell asleep. The CIA scientists were frustrated. They realized they couldn't just build the hardware, they had to hack the software. So, they performed another surgery to suppress the cat's hunger drive. They effectively rewired its brain so it wouldn't get distracted by the smell of tuna while on a mission. After 5 years of research, surgeries, and training, they had spent an estimated $20 million. They finally believed they had the perfect spy. A $6 million cat ready to defend democracy. The day of the first field test arrived in 1967. A CIA van parked on Wisconsin Avenue in Washington, D.C. Inside the van were high-ranking intelligence officers and the scientists who built the cat. Across the street, in a park, two men were sitting on a bench having a conversation. The target was set. The mission was simple: release the cat. Have it cross the street. Have it sit near the bench. Record the audio. The door of the van opened. The acoustic kitty stepped out onto the sidewalk. The agents watched breathlessly. 5 years of work. Millions of dollars. The future of espionage was taking its first steps. The cat walked toward the street, and then tragedy struck. Just as the cat stepped off the curb, a taxicab came speeding down the road. It didn't see the cat. It didn't stop. In a split second, Operation Acoustic Kitty was over. The $20 million cyborg was flattened by a taxi before it had even traveled 10 feet. The agents in the van sat in stunned silence. They drove away in shame. The project was immediately canceled. The CIA realized that while the technology worked, the environmental factors were uncontrollable. They buried the files. The story remained a secret for decades until it was declassified in 2001. A former CIA official famously said, "The cat would have been perfect if the world was perfect." This story is often laughed at. It sounds like a cartoon, but it reveals something deep about the Cold War mindset. The government was so paranoid, so desperate for information, and had such an unlimited budget that they lost touch with reality. They thought they could engineer nature. They thought they could control a cat like a machine, but nature always wins. The acoustic kitty is a monument to human hubris. We can split the atom. We can go to the moon, but we cannot make a cat do what it doesn't want to do. I am your host. Don't bug your pets. Subscribe.